Hi, godly chicks and gents. This is your girl Takyah, and today I wanted to start off by telling you all about a dream that I had the night before last, and I wanted to talk to you all about the spirit of the crocodiles. So if you're having dreams about alligators or crocodiles, then this video is for you. Once again, I just wanted to say hi to everyone. I know it's been a minute since I have been on live because we went through a whole season 2 of the podcast where I was kind of doing clips, but I have not really made any videos like this in a while, probably since December when I released the video about marital sabotage and the spirit of delay. I haven't really been on a video like this, and I'm sorry y'all, but it's like 2:19 in the morning and I threw on the first big t-shirt that I saw, and unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, fortunately, your girl is skinny around here and I've lost weight and all of my clothes are just like swallowing me. So forgive me for the shoulders being out. Y'all know I don't believe in coming on here like that, but I just got out the bed because I really couldn't sleep, and I felt like that this was something that the Lord wanted me to do now, and he didn't want me to wait on this. Now I had this dream the night before last, actually 3 nights ago now, because it's March the 27th to 20 a.m. So I actually had this dream 3 nights ago. But nevertheless, I feel like what I dreamed is going to be beneficial to the entire body of Christ, and it's not just for me. And if you're having dreams about alligators or crocodiles, you know, then this video, like I said, is definitely for you. And I have actually only dreamed about alligators twice in my life, and both times they were not good. So for me to have another dream a few days ago with an alligator in it, and the dream was regarding me, that just made my flesh crawl, and I'm not gonna even lie, like it even spooked me a bit. And if I'm being honest, for the past few months I actually have been having dreams that have not been, you know, too good. And as you all know, especially those of you who have been locked in with me and listening to the podcast, then you know exactly what area of my life, you know, I've been struggling in. And this is truly where all of this stuff started for me, because up until then I was fine. I was fine with the will of God, fine, you know, with this timing. I mean, you know, you have some sad days here and there, but for the majority and the most part of it, I was cool with how he was doing things and his timing and all of that. But, you know, the Lord rocked my world in January, and since then, I have been battling with his will, and I've been battling with his way. And for the most part, I have even asked him for a different route, to go a different way, to do something different. And it's not because, you know, I am this rebellious, disobedient person who just wants to be out here wilding and doing my own thing. I promise you, that's not even the case. I've been following the Lord for 13 years. Y'all know that ain't even my character. That's not the case. But it was because I was truly blinded by pain and anger, and even had roots of hate that started to sprout up regarding this situation. And I simply didn't think that it was good for me. I didn't think it was good for my life anymore. I didn't think it was good for me emotionally. It wasn't good for me mentally, just any of that. And I wanted a different way. And, you know, for a few days at the beginning of the year, it seemed as if God was on the same page with me, because he's the one who came to me with this. And, you know, he came to me and he said, you know, hey, baby girl, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that, but don't you worry, you know, I got you. You're going to be rewarded. And after a couple days of crying and wrestling with this and asking him, you know, hey, give this person another chance, let's do it one more time, you know, God was like, no. Dan's like, no. And after a few days, I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm good. Let's do it. Let's do something different. Well, the person who is in this situation with me also has a annoying relationship with God, and whatever they did and whatever they said to God was enough for him to relent from what he was about to do. And basically in the middle of January, the Lord came back to me, maybe around January 15th or 16th or something, something. And he said, hey, my son, blah, blah, blah. And to make a long story short, we're going to get back on track. But I was still off track. I was very much still off track and been off track since then. And I didn't want to get back on with this. I was mentally checked out of this. And it wasn't until a few days ago when I could feel the Lord's anger. Sorry, y'all. I'm skinny. But I could feel the Lord's anger start to burn against me, because even though, I know that this was 100% the way he wanted me to go, I still have been questioning him. I still have been thinking evil against his will, and I still would not fully submit. And I was making plans to go a different route. And I even sent a message out to this group that I have on Facebook, I think Sunday or Monday, saying like, hey, some things are just not going to be for you. Some things God will restore, but some things he want, and sent the picture. I was making plans continuously to go a different route. And a few days ago, I started to feel like the anger of the Lord, as they say in the Bible, be kindled against me. And because I walk so closely with him, you can't get around that. Like, I can't get in his presence and pretend like I don't know that he's upset with me, right? Because that's what it's like when you have a real relationship with God. I can't get out here and just do my own thing in peace, because the Holy Spirit gonna be riding me like a hawk. So I just don't get to live, any kind of way because of the relationship. But nevertheless, 2 nights ago, as I was on my way to bed, I felt something evil and dark creep into my room and into my house, and it almost felt like this spirit was following me around my house as I was getting ready for bed. And whatever spirit it was, I know now, but at the time I didn't know. It felt sneaky, and it felt like it was trying to move undetected, and it was extremely eerie. And of course, I rebuked it, but it wasn't until I went to sleep and had this dream that I knew, exactly what was going on. And once I had this dream, I'm just like, you know what? Okay, God, I'm done. I surrender. I submit. I'm done with, trying to do things my way and to go a different route and trying to get you even to change your mind, back to what you said in early January. I'm done with trying to persuade you, and, I'm done, because God just was like, no, this is not the way you're going to go, and it's bigger than you. And like Esther, that's what he just kept telling me, had to submit. You're going to just have to submit for this chosen role. And I know that, it's been a painful process, even just with your life, not even just with that situation, but just your whole life. I know it's been painful for you, and you've been in a pit and in a darkness and in a cave for a very, very long time, Takyah. I know what I've laid upon you, and the Lord told me, I know it's heavy. But this is just the way that you have to go. There's no way to get around it. So if you want to become the version of you that you saw in those visions, where you were before millions of people preaching and prophesying, and in Africa, and just thousands getting saved, and demons coming out of people, and singing for my glory, and angels on stage singing with you, and married happily with your children. If you want those visions to come true, this is the way you have to go. There's no way to get around it. I'm sorry. It's just, this is it. There is no second, third, fourth plan. The enemy has lied to a lot of people, and I'm finna get to this dream. But this is gonna probably be like an hour-long video today, so y'all just chill with me today. But nevertheless, the enemy has made a lot of people believe that there's this different route they can have, right? Like they have 2 or 3 or 4 wheels that they can do, and it's just not true. There is a will of God and a will of Satan. There is no in between. There is no if I miss the will of God, if I miss the promised land, I'ma still be okay. I'ma still live a good life and have everything that I want. That just wasn't for me. That's just not true. You're going to suffer and you're going to feel off for your entire life, because you're going to know that you were outside of the will of God. Because once you get outside of the will of God for something or for someone, you have to stay outside of his will to keep it. And peace will never be your portion until you get in the will of God. It's just not going to happen. That's why I talked about, even in my podcast, one of those episodes, I remember being a little girl going with my mom and stuff to the nursing homes and hearing these men just tell all these stories about, and it's bigger than marriage, but because this is my situation, I'm just talking about it. But nevertheless, how they had so many regrets in their life, and even how they was in love with this one woman, but she got away from them, and they just talk about it to the day they die. I mean, 75, 80, 90 in these beds. Oh, I should have did. I mean, to the day they died, because they knew it was something in her that they needed for their destiny. But Satan lies to people, and he says that if you don't go that route, it's still gonna work out for you. It wasn't meant to be. God gonna take care of you. You're gonna be good. You ain't got to have it. And he's lying to you, and he's hoping that you fall for it. And I know that because he just tried to do it with me. You don't have to go that route, Takyah. You can have a whole nother life with somebody else and still get the will of God and still be who you. Lies. And I go to God, and God said, that's the only way I got for you. So either you're going to get that, or you're going to get another route. And unfortunately, how close I walk with God, he's already told me the penalty for me going a different route. And that's why I be laughing at people when they say, God will never override your free will. He let you have free will. I just be like, y'all don't know God. I'm sorry. Y'all don't. You don't. Either you're lukewarm, or your relationship is like a baby level with God, because you don't know him. God will literally send a whale or a fish to swallow you whole. You will be in the belly of that fish for 3 days, just so this fish can spit you right back out into the will of God, where you were supposed to be. Will send a storm while you're trying to disobey God and go a different route. He will send an entire storm to rock your whole entire life until you submit. Do y'all hear me? And that's Jonah. It's proof of that, especially when you walk with God. It's just, y'all, it's just no way to get around that. And I'm going to get off of that and get to this dream. But I just had to lay the foundation so y'all can kind of know where I'm coming from. Like I said, it's bigger than marriage. And it's bigger than, love life and all that other stuff. It's your entire destiny. It's just so much bigger than that. It's a whole garden and a whole destiny that God has prepared for you. And you have to go this route in order to get it. And there's just no way around it. And you can have some good things or whatever. God, may decide to show mercy. And then for some, you ain't showing you no mercy, because I told you where to go, and you finna suffer if you disobey. So that's just how he deals with me. And I know everybody's relationship it's not like that, but that's how he deals with me. And the closer you get to him, that's how he's gonna deal with you. That's just how it is. Nevertheless, after this dream, y'all, a few nights ago, I told God I'm done, and this time I really meant it. And then the Lord led me to do something, and I did it. I submitted. I said, hey, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be still, and I'm going to sit here, and whatever you want to do in your time and however, I'm good. I'm just going to wait on you. But for now, I did that. I'm good. I'm back in alignment with your will, and whatever you want to do, hey, that's on you. But as for me, my eyes are on you from this moment forward, because it's just the way, it has to be. But nevertheless, I want to talk about this dream. I want to talk about the interpretation of it and what dreaming about crocodiles and alligators mean. And we're also going to talk about the root of these spirits, like what gives this alligator spirit the legal right into our lives and what opens the door to them. So a few nights ago, I had a dream that I was leaving out of my house. But it's actually like, now I live on the bottom level of my apartments, but in the dream, I had stairs almost as if I was on the second or third floor. And I was leaving out of my apartment, and it was this flight of stairs. But this alligator, big, long eyes, I mean, orange and red and snout and teeth coming out. I mean, just, so disgusting, y'all. Was sitting outside my house with his palms down, just looking and ready to attack me as I was opening the door. And once I opened the door and I was about to walk out and I looked down, I was like, oh my God, this is an alligator. And I tried to hurry up and close the door. This spirit flew, this funky alligator flew into the house and started running around. And I'm running around. And I fly back outside of the door, down this flight of stairs. And as I'm going down the flight of stairs, I start speaking in tongues and I start praying. But another thing that I heard that I did was I started repenting. And I started saying, I'm sorry, God. I'm sorry I wasn't going your way. I'm sorry I didn't do what you told me to do. I'm sorry that I've been angry. I'm sorry, like I just, from my spirit and my heart, started repenting about everything that I was dealing with in the waking life. And as I began to do that, as well as speak tongues and run from this spirit just fell like through the cracks of the stairs and it was destroyed. And I came around some kind of back way, came back into my apartment, and I locked the door. Now, the interpretation of this dream that the Lord gave to me was extremely clear. Like, I didn't even have to really dig deep for this. I mean, I looked it up anyway because I'm deep and I'm just like that, but I really didn't have to. It was extremely, clear, because before I went to sleep, I told the Lord, like, hey, you need to answer me. You need to give me a final answer on this situation, on what you want me to do, because if you don't, I'm doing this, period, point blank. Like, that's just where I was 3 days ago. And he answered. And when I got up, although I knew immediately what it meant, the Lord still spoke and said something to me that I'm not going to reveal to you guys because it was personal. But he basically was saying, like, how many times I got to tell you this? I'm not going to play with you. Like it's over. Submit. Like, I'm not even going to play with you anymore. And led me to Esther. And that was it. Like you finna be Esther or Vashti? Which one you want to be? Because, like, that's just it. I'm sorry. That's just how he dealt with me. And he said some more things that got me in line. And I quickly got in line and I did what he told me to do. And then I'm like, okay, my eyes on you. Nevertheless, in this dream, I opened the door. So it's like you're opening the door to the enemy for him to come in and wreak havoc. And I only opened the door a little bit. It was only cracked. And this spirit was already there, is the point that I want y'all to, like, really get. The spirit was already there. It was already waiting for me. It was already knowing, that possibly in waking life I'm going through something. So it's been watching me. The eyes were orange and spinning, like, how their eyes get when they fixate on something and they're about to attack. It's just, it's so creepy, scaly and ugly. Like, it was already there watching me and waiting to get me. As soon as I cracked the door open just a little bit, it barged in. Like, it's like all I need is a little opening with you, and baby, I'm finna kill you and take you out of here. That's basically what the dream was telling me. And it wasn't until I repented that basically the Lord took care of it, and it slipped through the cracks in these stairs as I'm running down the stairs away from it. It slipped through the cracks, and I was able to come back around the back way and close my door and lock the door so it could not enter again and it could not attack me again. So when we're talking about alligators and crocodiles in dreams, one thing that you're going to want to associate the spirit, y'all, this shirt. One thing you're going to want to associate the spirit of an alligator or a crocodile with is the spirit of Leviathan, which is pride. And I'm going to give you all a couple scriptures about that. But when you're seeing alligators and crocodiles chasing after you, lying in wait for you, or running towards you to attack you, it often means that just like me in the dream, you have opened the door to the spirit of pride. Now, I'm going to read you a few scriptures, but in this particular passage, God is explaining all the attributes of the spirit of Leviathan, which is a serpent in the sea. And as the Bible says, it's a literal dragon, right? That's like 40, 50 feet, 100 feet long. I don't know, but it's huge. And it's like it's almost taking up the whole sea. The Bible says in Job 41, starting at verse 15, his rows of scales are his pride, shut up tightly as with a seal. One is so near another. His scales are so near another, y'all. So that means ain't nothing getting through. One is so near another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together and cannot be parted. Verse 22, strength dwells in his neck and sorrow dances before him. Verse 23, the folds of his flesh are joined together. They are firm on him and cannot be moved. So the Lord is letting you know that sorrow is intertwined with the spirit of pride. And being stiff-necked, haughty, arrogant is intertwined with this spirit of pride. And it's firm on this spirit. This spirit is unmovable. Verse 24, his heart is as hard as stone, my God, even as hard as the lower millstone. Verse 34, he beholds every high thing. He is king over all the children of pride. And although I am referencing Leviathan, we're talking about crocodiles and alligators and dreams and the biblical connection between all of them. So right here in this passage of Job, the Lord appears to Job in a whirlwind and begins to question him because Job had become a little bit prideful in his sorrow, right? It's intertwined with the spirit of pride. You just read that. So in his pain, in his sorrow, he felt like, God, you owe me an answer. Why on earth would you put me through all of this? Why would you make me go through all of this? What is the purpose of this? Are you not a just God? Will you not judge? I have been righteous. I have done everything you've told me to do. I da. Sound like me. I'm not out here doing, Lord, I'm praying, I'm fasting, I'm submitting, I'm covering folks, I'm ministering, I'm doing what you want me to do. Why on earth would you even allow me to be in a situation like this? I mean, angry. That's how Job was. Sorrow and pain had intertwined with him. And it made him prideful. The pain and sorrow made him prideful. And it made him question God. Because God, why would you do this to me? Have I sinned against you so greatly that you got to do all of this? And I know I've said the Lord since I've been born, like pain after pain, trial after trial. Why on earth would you do this to me? That's what I have asked the Lord. So right here in this passage, Job is questioning the Lord. And the Lord doesn't even really answer him because he like, what you're saying is foolish. I'm God at the end of the day. And the things and the tests that you are going through are not even so much because I want to punish you. It's not even because of that. You are righteous. You are what you have said. And I don't mean like a self-righteous, but you have been following me. You have been doing the right thing. And that's why the enemy wanted to test you. And because I knew you would not fall, because I knew your strength, that you didn't even even know you had. I told the enemy, go ahead and try. She ain't gonna go nowhere. She still gonna serve me. She still gonna submit. She still gonna do right. And Satan like, bet, let me do this and see how quick she gonna leave. Let me do this and see, won't Job curse you and die? It's a test. Some of this stuff that we're going through, it's just a test. And anyway, God didn't even really answer Job. He just started talking to Job about this creature that he had created and how big it was. And he begins to question Job concerning Leviathan. And Leviathan was a spirit that is represented by a crocodile or an alligator or a large serpent of the sea. And as I began looking up crocodiles within the Bible, I actually discovered that the Hebrew word called tanin that translates to serpent is actually the Hebrew word for the word crocodile. Like, you can't make this up. And the English translations are different from the Torah and the Hebrew translations. And I want to even read this passage from Ezekiel chapter 29 verses 1 through 6 out of the complete Jewish Bible. And it reads this: on the 12th day of the 10th month of the 10th year, the word of Adonai came to me. Human being, turn your face against Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Prophesy against him and against all Egypt. Speak out and say that Adonai Elohim says, I am against you. Pharaoh, king of Egypt, you big crocodile lying in the streams of the Nile. So there it is again, the spirit of pride being connected to this crocodile spirit, and the Lord saying, I am against you. You say, my Nile is mine. I made it for myself. But I will put hooks in your jaws and make your Nile fish stick to your scales. Yes, I will bring you up from your Nile with all your Nile fish sticking to your scales and leave you in the desert, you and all your Nile fish. And you will fall in the open field and not be gathered or buried, but I will give you as food to wild animals and birds. Then all who live in Egypt will know that I am Adonai. So in this passage, we see that the crocodile, an alligator type of spirit, God associates it with pride and arrogance. And he's so angry at this spirit that's on Pharaoh, right? That he's literally bragging about how he's going to tear it down and how he's going to debase it, how he's going to bring Pharaoh as nothing, and he gonna let this happen to him and let that happen to him. So a crocodile spirit and you dreaming of that is not good. And that even reminds me of Proverbs 16:18, I believe, that says, pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. And also James 4:6 that said, God opposes the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. And I'm actually going to read to you a few dream interpretations about crocodiles and alligators. And then I'm going to share with you all what I feel the Lord is saying to us in regards to this spirit. Because I feel that God is warning not just me, but a lot of people to beware of these nasty reptile spirits and the spirit of Leviathan that's roaming the earth right now. So let me just give you all a few dream interpretations of what it means when you dream about an alligator. So the first interpretation says that when you dream of an alligator or a crocodile, it means that a large, powerful mouth of an envious person is telling lies on you. They are gossiping about you, and these lies are propelled through groups of people. It is a spirit of gossip or verbal abuse, and the crocodile demon or evil spirit is influencing an enemy to speak these evil words or curses or witchcraft against you. Now, when I saw that, I'm like, that absolutely can be added to the dream, as well as the second interpretation I'm about to give y'all. I honestly believe it could be all of these for me. The second interpretation says, when you dream of an alligator or a crocodile, it is an enemy or a spirit who is moving below or behind the scenes to ruin your life. It is detecting you by stealth and waiting for the perfect time to drag you down to death so that it can tear chunks from your flesh and drown you and ultimately kill you. That's it. That's what it wants to do. So if you are seeing an alligator or a crocodile in your dreams, it most likely represents one of these two interpretations. It could mean that there is someone who's gossiping against you or slandering you, or a demonic spirit like an alligator or a crocodile that wants to attempt to swim underneath the waters of your life and go undetected until boom, one day you are so deep in this water. You're so sad. You're so angry. You're so like Job, right? Questioning God and ready to curse him, and you're angry and you're just ready to do whatever you want to do and buck the system and rebel. And then it grabs you. And one thing that y'all have got to know about crocodiles and alligators is that when they grab a hold of you and they snap you, what they do is they drag you underneath the water, and then they do all of this. They spin your head, they spin your body, your arm, whatever it is that they have attached to them. And while you're in their mouth, they hold on to you tightly like this, and they drag you down until you either, bleed out under the water or until you drown, because they won't let you go once they finally get you. And the final interpretation, the last one, which is the third one that came out of this book, it said that the crocodile spirit can also be the spirit of the devourer, or a person who is untrustworthy and they are seeking to devour you or destroy you. And for those of you who have listened to the podcast, season 2, then you all know that during this process, I've had several dreams and visions that have been very dark. And the first one I even talked about in episode 1, where I went out on this date with this Caucasian man, and he had brown hair, but his eyes was pitch black. And my mama said, be careful in this dream. And, I was skinny like now, like I had lost the weight, had this cute dress on, was out on this date with him. And as we were sitting at this table, the Lord showed me a vision. Like, it's literally like I was there, and I saw the inside of his house, and he had duct tape, he had ropes, he had like some kind of rat poison, like he just had all these things laid out, chains on the bed, and waiting and ready to take me to his house to kidnap me, to rape me, to kill me, to do whatever it is that he wanted to do. But he was pretending to like me as he was on this date. But as I was on the date, I started feeling, eerie. I started feeling like, nah, something's wrong with this. And by my mama saying, be careful. And in this dream, another white lady with her husband, who were leaving out of this restaurant, started talking to me about a date night killer. And I woke up and it was insane. Don't y'all know, I logged into YouTube, and a story, I guess, from the 80s or 90s with this date night killer popped up. The man was white and had brown hair. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. And when I took this to the Lord days later, because at first I thought that this was an actual person, but the Lord told me this was Satan in disguise. That's why he looked kind of handsome, but the darkness, it was pitch black. And I'm like, I knew that I recognized like him before, because I've seen the enemy before 4 times on 4 separate occasions. And one of the times that I saw Satan extremely clear, he had skin as pale as snow, and eyes were black, and his hair was split down the middle, except it was black. But in the dream, it was a dark brown, so it's almost like I'm coming in the form, but it was really like I was on the date with Satan. And that's what the Lord revealed to me. But he was trying to come in like this beautiful, because the man was very handsome, but he was dark and handsome. It wasn't like oh, he's glowing, he's beautiful. It was like, he's handsome, but it's something off with him. It was like a eeriness and a darkness to him. And when I took it to the Lord, he said, that's Satan. You were on a date with Satan. And that's what is going to happen when you get out of my will. Like, there is no other route for you. And I know y'all also heard me talking about this other vision that I had with this witch who was standing on the side of my bed, devouring flesh. And I mean, blood dripping from her mouth. And I mean, just absolutely disgusting, looked like something off of The Wrong Turn. And she was just doing all of that, just eating this, not me doing the sounds, but it was just disgusting, like how much she was tearing and ripping this to shreds and even looking at me like with a vengeance. And I looked closer in the vision. I kept walking toward her, and it had blessings written on it, what she was tearing apart with her sharp teeth and tearing it apart like flesh. So for them to say that it's a devouring spirit, and the Lord has been even talking to me about restoration and how he's about to bless me for my faithfulness and how he's about to reward me. These demons, they don't want me to get my reward. They don't want you to get your reward. And now this is what I feel the Lord has laid on me to say to all of you, because like I said, I feel like this was bigger than me. That's why I couldn't even sleep. I had to get up and come on here with y'all and talk to y'all about this. And I want to start by reading this scripture. Joel 2:25, and it says this: "And I will restore to you the years that the locust hath eaten, the cankerworm, and the caterpillar, and the palmer worm." God is ready to restore many of us. Oh my God, I feel his spirit. But for some of us, the restoration will not come until we give up something. And if you don't give it up, you will be going in circles, and you are going to forfeit what the Lord is trying to do in your life in this season. If you want restoration, you have to give up bitterness. You have to give up going your own way. You have to give up your own thoughts if you want God to restore you and to bestow upon you what he has for you. You have to let go. If you want peace, you have to give up chaos. If you want joy, you have to give up sorrow. You gotta let this pain and this spirit of sorrow go. If you want to see the promises of God come to pass, you must give up anxiety and doubt. Because like the spirit of Leviathan, some of you, including myself, because I was one of them, some of you think that you're protecting yourself by doing things your own way and being disobedient and rebellious to the will of God. And what you're doing like this is you're allowing these hard scales to form around your heart to where nothing is getting in, right? Nothing is getting into this. Not even the voice of God. Not even the instructions of God. You have gotten so hard that nothing can penetrate. It's like those scales that I read earlier in Job chapter 41. And you think you're doing it to preserve yourself, because I thought I gotta save myself from this. I gotta protect myself from this. I gotta get away from this, distance myself, remove myself completely from this situation. Like, nah, I gotta protect myself. But what you're really doing, if that is the will of God for your life, what you're really doing is opening up the doors of your life to demonic spirits, and you're opening up doors for them to come in and wreak havoc on your life and for them to devour the blessings that God wants to give you. And you're saying you want out. You're saying you don't want God's will anymore. And just like that dream, I'm sorry, y'all. And just like that dream, that I told y'all about with that evil man who had taken me out on a date, in that dream and had plans to kidnap me, rape me, murder me, whatever. Satan is waiting like an alligator for some of you to slip up and to crack the door open just a little bit. Just a little bit, y'all. And when that door opens, just a little bit, he's going to barge in and charge at you like this alligator did me in this dream, because he already knows that you're a threat to his kingdom. And like an alligator, he's been watching and waiting and detecting you, and he can see your frustration. He can see your anger. He can see your sadness and your grief and your unbelief and your anxiety and your fears. And he can see and smell that you're on the brink of giving up and going a different route. But you cannot give up now. And you need to shut every door that you opened unto him with sin. Whether the sin was loneliness, sadness, grief, hate, anger, unforgiveness, pride, or rebellion against God, not understanding God's way, or pain or hurt, whatever it was that opened the door, whatever it was that cracked the door for him to come in, God is saying, let it go. Just let it go. Let it go. And close the door now. And do not play with this thing, because judgment is coming, y'all. And it's about to fall upon so many people. It's about to fall upon the children of disobedience who pretend like they're with God, but they're really not. It's about to fall upon the children of pride who belong to Leviathan like never before. And the only way to avoid the type of judgment that is about to hit the church and about to hit, these people's lives who are outside of the will of God, the only thing that's going to save you is total alignment with God. Total alignment, total and complete alignment. God is sick of the excuses. He's sick of the lies that you tell him when you say you're going to obey, you're going to do this, and then you disobey next week, or you disobey when things don't seem to be going your way. You're back to doing your old thing. He's over it. He's over it, and his judgment is going to fall upon you if you do not heed. So I am warning you, if there is something that God is asking you to do, someone he's asking you to forgive, something he's telling you to let go of that pain, let go of that situation, just let it go. Or if there's somewhere he's telling you to be or to get to, or maybe there's something that he's telling you that you need to start, maybe a YouTube, maybe a podcast. It doesn't matter how small it may seem to you. Whatever it is, you need to listen. Because if you keep going the wrong way, and if you keep testing God, if you keep being angry or walking in bitterness or pride like I was, when you know good and well what the will of God is for your life, don't even play with God. God like, Takyah, why are you playing with me? You already know. And I'm like, I know, but I just didn't want to do it. So it's not that I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. No, you're not confused. You just don't want to do it. But what's going to happen is if you keep going the wrong way and you keep testing God when you know what his will is, you're about to see, as my mother and the old folks used to say back in the day, you're about to see that fat meat is greasy. You're about to see how greasy it really is. And if you're out of place and the judgment of God starts to fall upon you, and God starts turning up the fire within your life, and he starts taking peace away from you, and demons start attacking you in your dreams, and darkness coming for you, like this spirit the other night tried to slide in his house, but I walked so closely with God that I knew my atmosphere was off. I could feel it. I'm like, what is this blackness, this darkness that's chasing me? What is going on? Like what is this that I feel behind me as I'm walking through my apartment, getting out the shower, about to get ready for bed? And the Lord showed me in the dream this alligator spirit waiting by stealth to get me, because I had started to open up the door to the enemy to come in. But nevertheless, once God starts turning up the fire in some of y'all's lives, don't inbox me. asking me for prayer or for me to go to God on your behalf, because I have submitted and y'all need to submit. And this video that you're watching will count as a warning unto you, because I told you. So I didn't submit it. I'm good. So whatever area of y'all's life y'all need to be, you need to move to another state. You need to start that business, that YouTube, that podcast, write that book. You need to let go of this person. You need to call that person and forgive them. Whatever it is you need to do, you better hurry up and do it, because judgment is coming. And if you are out of alignment, it's going to hit you. It's going to hit you. So I've already warned y'all, and this is not a fear-based video. Y'all know I don't do that, but I know that when God gives me something and it's for, you know, the entire body and stuff of Christ, when he gives me these words, y'all have to take heed. Like, you really have to take heed and listen, because God is not playing with us. He ain't even playing with me. He don't play. He's not playing anymore. The season for using grace to do whatever we want to do is over. Grace is done. It's over. And I don't mean that grace has ended. Of course, you'll have grace, you know, to the end of time. You'll have mercy, hopefully, to the end of time. But I'm talking about the grace to deliberately disobey. It's over. The grace to deliberately go another way when you know what the will of God is. It's over. And for those of you who will not submit, you're about to see that fat meat is greasy. So I warned y'all, and y'all blood is off my hands. But nevertheless, there are some things that we have to let go of in order to receive what the Lord wants to do in our lives. And for me, it was bitterness. It was anger. It was hate. It was my own way. And you just have to let it go. It's not benefiting you like you think it is. Like I thought it was, right? Like I said, protecting myself. Oh, can't nothing get in. I'm good. Like, I'm good on you. I'm moving over here, finna move this way. God, like, you ain't finna move nowhere. Your life don't belong to you. It belonged to me. And once you submitted to me over a decade ago, 13 years ago, that's what you said when I saved you from going to hell. So your life doesn't belong to me. You gonna do my will. I don't know about nobody else, but you, Takyah, Monet, White. Oh, you gonna do my will, baby girl. It's over for it. So let it go. Y'all just let it go. If you need to forgive, forgive. If you need to let go of someone, let them go. If you need to repent, repent. If you need to get back in alignment with the will of God, get back in alignment with the will of God and do it quickly. If you know that God has already warned you and told you what to do or blah, 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 things like that, like I told y'all, whatever it is, to write a book, to do whatever, and you have not done it, you need to hurry up and do it, because this is not the season to get out of alignment with God, and it especially is not the season to live in complete disobedience, continuously out of alignment with God. Because these spirits, y'all, they're ready to devour everything that God promised you. They're ready to alter your destiny. They are ready to attack you. And just like locusts, eat up everything that God ordained for you. And if you have open doors of sin in your life, open doors of rebellion, disobedience, anger, bitterness, hate, unforgiveness, whatever it is, close them. Lust, fantasy, perversion, whatever it is, close those doors. Because if you don't, there's going to be a spirit that's going to come in and wreak havoc on your life. And you will be able to track it right back to this point in this video when I warned you. And you're going to say, why didn't I listen? And this spirit is not coming to play. It's coming to alter your destiny. It's coming to destroy you. It's coming to devour you. And it's not going to play with you. And God is not going to play with you. He's over it. He's over it. Just like he told me, I'm not playing with you anymore. Stop playing with me. You know good well what my will is. Stop playing with me. That's just how God is moving in this season. Because we have to grow up. We just have to grow up. The body of Christ as a whole, you just have to grow up, y'all. It's time to grow up. End of story. And if this video helped you today, I know y'all may not have liked it and it may have been a little rough, but I have to give y'all truth. But if this video helped you today and if it made sense to you, I want you to comment and please share it with at least 3 people and subscribe to the Godly Chick channel for fresh prophetic insights and other dreams and visions and revelations that we are going to talk about. And also, I have a surprise for you guys. I don't know who's been praying and talking to God about the podcast, but y'all, the Lord has heard your prayers, saints, and we are going to start the podcast back up in the month of April. So we're a couple weeks away from starting the podcast back up. I don't know if it's going to be the first Friday in April or the second Friday, but it's going to be one of those Fridays, and I already have the episodes laid out, and I do believe there's going to be 10 to 15 episodes to add to season 2. So we're still going to be in season 2 all about love, but there are a lot of areas that I missed, and the Lord was like, yo, you're not done. I need you back on this podcast. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Lord, I thought I was done. I want to be done talking about this stuff. But nevertheless, we're not done. It's going to be amazing. So make sure you subscribe to Spotify, subscribe to Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever, because we are going to be talking about some things even in the podcast that is going to bless y'all's life as it pertains to relationships, marriage, and love, because we need this. But nevertheless, I am going to get out of here. I love you all, and I pray that you will share this video with at least 3 people. Share it, share it, share it, share it. And always remember, when you know who's you walking with, it ain't hard to be a godly chick. I love you, ladies and gents, and I pray this video blessed you, and I will see you all later. Bye.